Hello dear viewers, the new episode of How Well Do You Know Mongolia is starting. In this episode, 3 foreign citizens competed to test their knowledge of Mongolian customs, geography, history and food. Stay with us to learn more about Mongolia.
Hi, my name is Miguel from Peru. I live here in Mongolia 8 years. I'm working as a chef. Now I made this restaurant called Munchik. I have a Mongolian wife, I have 2 kids, and very happy to be in Mongolia.
Hello, my name is Philip Jimenez. I'm from New York City, and I've been living in Mongolia for about 8 years. I teach English, and I also work for environmental human rights issues. And I'm married, and I have 1 son, and he lives in New York City. I teach English at the Knights Australian Mongolian School. It's a great school. And these questions look really difficult, but I will try my best.
Hello, my name is Ernest Reyes. I am from the Philippines. This is my 4th year here in Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia. I am currently employed in Olonlog Academy International School. I am teaching English subject, and I am the youngest sibling among 6. And I came here in Mongolia right before the COVID, so it's been like a challenge for me to cope up with the culture and traditions of Mongolia.
Which of these provinces' centers are in Arkhanga province?
I am actually not familiar with this province of Mongolia, but I think I'll go with Erdensu, because I remember back in 2020, me and my local friends went to the oldest temple in Arkhange in Erdensu. So I'll go with letter B.
I think it's C, Harhoring, Tsetserle.
Tsetserlik. Tsetserlik means garden. Oh, I got that right.
Traveling through Mongolia, I like to drive actually. So when I was driving, I go to this place around Arkhangai, what is some waterfall there. Yeah, I love it there.
I've been to Kharkhorin a few times, and that's always wonderful. I've been to the Gobi, and I've driven to the border into Russia. I love the Gobi Desert, but I want to see everything. The problem is in summer, usually I go back to New York for a few months, so when I have free time, it's hard to see everything, but I'm going to see everything.
Tsetserleg is the capital of Arkhanga province in central Mongolia. As far as Mongolian cities go, it's a pleasant and friendly one. It sits right in the heart of the Arkhanga mountains and is a popular place to stock up on supplies, eat a decent meal, and launch an expedition to the countryside. Which province has the largest area in Mongolia?
I just remember hearing that, but to me, when I look at the map, all the hammocks look almost the same size, so it's difficult. My God. Dungovi?
I'll go with A, because I've been there also for volunteering. Is that correct? Letter A.
Can be B, Tungongovi province. Yes, I'm reading. They have like a desert there. Yeah, mining companies there also. Yeah, I think it's B. Is correct.
We went there with my English colleagues, and we did like a volunteering as an English teacher. We taught like teenagers, the local residents of Onogo, And we also visited the Flaming Cliff and also the exact location where the fighting dragons fossils have found.
I'm not sure, but I was there with the company many years ago. We do some caterings there. In the middle of nothing was there. So desert. We stayed there like 2 nights there, attending because they were going to open some mining project. So experience was very cool. Was cold. Yeah, the night was very cold, but yeah, it was a nice, great experience there.
Gobi province in southern Mongolia is one of the Mongolia's largest provinces, with a population density of only 0.3 people per square kilometer. The few people who live here belong to the Halh ethnic group. It's not hard to see why people prefer to live elsewhere. With an average annual precipitation of only 130 millimeters of snow and rainfall a year, and summer temperatures reaching an average of up to 38 degrees Celsius, this is the driest, hottest, and harshest region in the country. The Qorun Sakhan Noro mountain range in the center of the Ongo province provides the main topographic relief in this flat region. These mountains reach an altitude of 2,825 meters and support a diverse range of wildlife, including an extremely rare snow leopard. The mountains also make human habitation possible by capturing snow in winter, which melts and feeds springs in the plains below, providing a limited amount of water for livestock. What do Mongolians call snuff bottle bags?
It's not a pot, it's not a bag, it's not a little bag. So this is here is like the ailing, darling. It's the thing for tobacco inside, right? Yeah.
So you probably call it datlin? Yeah, datlin.
I am not sure of my answers going to be, but I'll go with little bag.
But see, by next Sagansar, I'm going to have a snuff bottle. Well, I felt when I first got here, I felt very much at home. I really loved it. I immediately loved Mongolia, loved the city, loved the people. That's why I stay here. That's why I decided to stay here, because the people, Mongolian people, are the best. I loved the countryside. Looked like Utah. The people are very cool, very intelligent, very interesting people, and there's a lot to do, a lot of opportunities to do new things.
I've seen like couple items during Sagansar, but I am not sure what's the name of each items.
Yes, I have one as a present from a father-in-law. So we do with this actually we do Sagansar.
The bag for holding a snuff bottle is called a dalung. Dalung are made from the cotton and so decorated with Mongolian patterns. Almost as important as the snuff bottle itself, its dalung is a rich vessel of Mongolia's artistic and cultural history. The snuff bottle is one of the main traditional accessories used by Mongolian men and is rarely used by women. Mongolians have a long tradition of swapping their snuff bottles when they greet each other. Even modern Mongolians still use snuff bottles during the Lunar New Year to respectfully greet each other. When exchanging snuff bottles, the cap should be loose and the bottle should be held upright in the palm of the right hand. When accepting a snuff bottle, sniff the top and hand it back with your right hand with the cap still loose. This exchange is an expression of mutual respect and friendship and a sign that everyone is warmly welcome. What is curd made of?
Horse milk, I would say. No? No.
I think it's the horse milk, letter D.
No milk, it's horse milk, deal.
You know, when I first tried Aral, I was like, oh, I didn't understand it. It's so hard, right? Little hard things. But now I really like it, so I've gotten used to it. And yogurt and Aral and oh my God, what is it? The horse milk. Yes, arak. That's really good. That's my favorite thing.
Mongolians make so many interesting variations of curd from sheep, goat, cow and yak milk. Making arol starts with boiling yogurt, then filtering it through a cloth to make curd. The curd is wrapped in another layer of cloth and a heavy rock is placed on top to squeeze out all the liquid. The curd is cut into pieces with string or molded into different shapes and dried in the sun. Whose statue is in front of the National Library.
It's no beetle band, it's no Chinggis Khan is there. Reaching?
Probably Renchin.
Central Library, I'm not sure where is it located. So I will just guess. I know it's in Supatar Square. So I'll go with letter C, Chinggis Khan.
How do I know? I don't know very much, but involved in scholarship and education.
I'm started to learning now how to reading now. It's interesting now for me. It's a new thing. Yeah.
Currently, I can read the Mongolian alphabet, but I don't know exactly the meaning of every word. So I haven't read any Mongolian books yet.
Honoring the centennial anniversary of Mongolia's foremost author and scholar Byambong Rinchen, the statue was erected in front of the National Library in 2005. The sculpture was created by Dinzan, the grandson of Professor Rinchen. What part of the gear is made of sheep and goat wool?
I saw in some houses they use the goat or sheep wood to insulate the walls, right? So A is correct.
What kind of home insulation is made of sheep and goat wool? That would be the felt. The felt walls in the ger.
Letter A, felt. That's correct.
Well, I know the ger, Mongolians were called people of the felt walls because that was the people of the felt walls, people who lived a nomadic lifestyle, because the felt lines the walls of the ger, and it's really good stuff. It insulates against the cold, and it's just great.
On summer I'm going, on winter I'm going to, mostly I go to Resh, and I stay there several days. We stay in girls there, so yeah, it's very nice. Yeah.
Felt is a textile produced by matting, condensing and pressing fibers together. Felt can be made of natural fibers such as wool or animal fur, or synthetic fibers such as petroleum-based acrylic or wood pulp-based rayon. Blended fibers are also common. Natural fiber felt has special properties that allow it to be used for various purposes. It is fire retardant and self-extinguishing, dampens vibration, absorbs sound, and can hold large amounts of fluid without feeling wet. What kind is made when a herder household welcomes guests they haven't seen for a long time?
Horhog is, you know, that's a big, difficult to prepare, and you have to build a fire outside. It's very involved. So I would say that's very special. So I would say if you haven't seen guests for a long time, you would make that, but you would definitely have dumpling tea, but I don't know. Suiban, maybe? I don't know. Not horhog, hushur. No. Hushur you have every day, though. But if this is for special, like, welcome guests, I would say horhog. Yeah. Okay, we'll go with that.
Horhog. Yeah, it's prepared the stones with the meats inside, with potatoes and carrots. Yeah. Yeah, financing A.
I love all of this food, but herdsmen, since they used to like countryside, and they are very like good in cooking horho, so I choose A, letter A, horho.
Mongolian food is very, very interesting. The process, how they make it from the scratch. Not used to the I'm surprised for the process. It's a long process, yeah. So, for example, to make the kosher, put flour with the water, and they have these plants in the ground, and then keep the meat or mutton of beef. After that, the frying, and yeah, I like it. Yeah, the horse also is impressive because they put a big pot. Yeah, they cut in for meats there. Heating up the stones. After that, put them many hours under pressure, like 4 hours, maybe 3 hours there. After that, take out and then rubber his hands with the stones before it. Yeah, it's kind of nice. It's very yummy actually. Yeah.
So every time I go to province, I always request to the homeowners, to the owner of the place to make horhog for me.
I really like horse meat. Yeah, it's like in the middle of winter to have horse meat is a big treat. But I like all of it. I like the insides of the sheep, you know. After, you know, you kill the animal immediately and then you eat the intestines, the organs. That's really good.
Horhog is a Mongolian barbecue dish. Horhog is made by cooking pieces of meat inside a container with hot stones and water that is often also heated from the outside. To make horhog, Mongolians cut sheep or goat meat into pieces, leaving the bones in. 10 to 20 fist-sized stones are placed in a fire. When these stones are hot enough, the meat and stones are placed in the cooking container. Metal milk jugs are a popular choice, but any container durable enough to hold hot rocks will do. What is the name of the thing used for horseback riding?
What is the name of the thing that is put on a horse when riding? That would be a saddle. I'm from Utah, I know about saddles.
I haven't ridden a horse before, so I'll go with saddle. Letter B.
I'm not sure. It can be a chair? It's a chair?
Well, I think the Mongolian saddle is smaller and it's kind of hard and small. And the American saddle is big, broader, wider, softer, I think. But I would say one thing that I love about Mongolia is the way the animals are treated. Mongolian herdsmen treat their animals very well. There isn't like the cruelty with, you know, the kicking the animal with spurs and like whipping. There isn't any of that. And you know what? I'm from Utah, but I don't like the whole rodeo thing. You know what rodeos are? They're kind of like, it's like athletic games with animals. You ride a bull, for instance, or you break in a horse, you do. But the animals they're sort of torturing the animals, you know? It's cruel. So one thing I really like is how Mongolian people treat horses and cows. It's much nicer.
When we visited Terelj, like the Terelj resort, during winter time, I think it's Christmas time, 25th of December. So our bosses made us experience everything, like riding a horse, you know, hiking up the frozen mountain, and husky sledging.
Peruvian horses is a tall horses, very tall horses. Used to walk, to dance. And Mongolian horses is smaller, but very strong. The horses is minus 30 degrees outside and they're still working, yeah. In Peru, this horse can die one day. Yeah. I did one time, but I'm afraid. Yes. I like the horse, but not to ride. They go very they biting you, the horses in here. Yeah.
A saddle is a supportive structure for the rider of animal, fastened to the animal's back with a curve. The most common saddles are those designed for horses, but there are also specialized saddles for oxen, camels and other animals. It is not known precisely when the riders first began to use padding or protection for riding, but a blanket attached by some form of a girth or belly strap was probably the first saddle, followed by more elaborate padded designs. What is the drink made from camel's milk called?
Eric is the horse milk, so it can be hormok. It's correct?
Camel milk. That's not Eric. So that would have to be hormok.
I'll go with A, Eric.
They give me a little bit and they tell me it's milk, very thick. Interesting.
I don't remember. I know I've had Eric a lot, but not hormok, I don't think. Maybe it's best to have it in the Gobi Desert, maybe? Yeah. Everything, it's a very healthy lifestyle here. It's interesting, how herdsmen don't eat meat during the summer, live according to the herdsman diet all year, and see how that goes. Actually, the meat in Mongolia is so good that when I go back to New York, I don't eat any meat. I just eat chicken or fish because it's not nearly as good.
Hormuk is made from camel's milk, is a very nutritious fermented beverage with many beneficial vitamins. Hormuk is made by fermenting raw camel milk in a wooden container for 2 to 3 days. The fermentation process creates lactic acid, which gives the milk a sour taste. How many sutras does Irtenzo monastery have?
This is an interesting question. How many sutras does Erdenesu monastery have? No idea.
I don't know. I would just guess 108. 108. Is that right? Okay.
I'm not sure about this. Sutras. I will just guess. I think it's letter C, 108.
I know that it's Tibetan Buddhist, but I also know that Mongolia really has its own kind of Buddhism. So I think you could say that there's such a thing as Mongolian Buddhism, because you have the shaman tradition or the Bo tradition, and that makes it different, essentially different from Tibetan Buddhism. And yeah, it's so ancient. I think there are elements of Mongol religion that are much older than Buddhism.
For me, Mongolian religions are very into following all the learnings of each religion, especially the Buddhism. I've seen many locals who are very serious when it comes to religion and following their ancestors, their older family member, and I like it. It's actually there's identical situation back in my country when it comes to religion. We have some holidays that we follow based from the religion that we follow.
The first Buddhist monastery in Mongolia, Irtenzo, was established on the ruins of the ancient city of Harharun in 1586 by After Sahan. The monastery is located in Harharunsum, or Khanga province. It is surrounded by 420 meters of fortress walls and has 808 stupas. In 1792, it housed 62 temples. Mongolian nobles aspired to have temples named after them inside the monastery walls. Who was the last king of Mongolia?
The last king of Mongolia, Bokht. Yeah.
Bothang.
I know it's B, Bokhan.
Oh, it's been a long time. It was some video, some documentary, probably on YouTube. Before I moved here, I read Jack Weatherford. You know Jack Weatherford. Genghis Khan and the Making of the Modern World. I read that. My friend who'd been to Mongolia said, before you go to Mongolia, you have to read this book. It will really make you respect Genghis Khan. And so I read it. I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. Because they don't really tell you the truth about Genghis Khan in the West, in school. So that was a very exciting book. And he has, I think, 3 books out. One about the Mongol queens and one about religion, freedom of religion, which he says that the American Constitution was set up. The freedom of religion in the American Constitution was taken from Genghis Khan, inspired by Genghis Khan.
In my country, when we were in the elementary school, we have a subject called Civica at Cultura. We learned about Mongolia. We learned about Mongolian eras. So I've learned like several kings of Mongolia, and most famous is Genghis Khan. I think the whole world knows Genghis Khan.
The Bogd was the last king of Mongolia. He was enthroned as Han of Mongolia on December 29, 1911, when Mongolia declared its independence from the Qing dynasty after the Xinhai Revolution. He was born in Tibet in 1869. As the 8th Jebtsun Damba Hotokto, he was the 3rd most important person at the Tibetan Buddhist hierarchy, below only the Dalai Lama and Panchen Lama. He was known as the Bogd Lam. He was the spiritual leader of the Mongolian Buddhism. His wife, Donduk Dolam Tsint, the Ikhdegin or Dakini mother, was believed to be a manifestation of the White Tara. In what season is Cashmere harvested from goats?
This question is a little bit of situational. I think they comb cashmere from goats during summertime.
It's no summer, it's no winter. Spring, spring.
Well, if you did it in the winter, then the animal would freeze. So I would say spring. Spring, yeah.
Yes, I've been. My friend has a company who does cashmere, so she bring me one day to comb the goats. Yeah.
So many things in a Mongolian tradition. They make sense. There's always a good reason for it.
In the spring, Mongolians comb cashmere from goats. Brushing removes dandruff and loose hair and increases blood flow, improving the goat's skin and coat health. Goats are combed in the late spring or early summer when they are naturally shedding and throwing off the cashmere undercoat that keeps them warm in winter. Miguel Hokama answered 8 questions correctly, and Philip Jimenez answered 10 questions correctly. Ernesto Reyes answered 6 questions correctly. Thereby, Philip Jimenez was the winner of this quiz.
In some question is like a really no, like the monasteries one. This made me surprised because I didn't hear about this. Supposed to know more about Mongolia because I'm many years in here. But do it to work, so it's like a short time to go outside. Yeah, but it's time to learn, and I still have a long time in here, so I will learn more from Mongolia. It's very interesting. It's a nice experience. It's like get me surprised with this question because as long as I'm here, so I thought I know a lot of Mongolia, but it's like a simple question. It's like a get me surprised. Get me surprised. Yeah. Thank you for this interview. for this moment.
Some of them were quite tough, I thought. Some of them were, luckily I knew them. There's a certain kind, vibe? There's a certain vibe, there's a certain feeling when you're around people. I really, I love Japan. I've been to Japan many times. Certain countries I love, Korea, Japan, Austria, but there's a certain feeling about Mongolia when even just walking down the street or on the bus, even at the bank, going shopping, there's just a certain feeling that you feel around Mongolian people that is very special. And I just feel very comfortable here and very, very happy. Feel very satisfied to be here, very much. It's a great privilege to be able to live here. And so I have my permanent residence card. I'm really proud of it. And I will live here for the rest of my life. Yeah. Thank you guys, thank you.
First, the easy question is about the food. It's like what food do herdsmen offer to the visitors from the city or from any other country? Because I am a foreigner myself, and I usually go to countryside, and they always offer us horhog. And the difficult one, I am not familiar with the places in Ulaanbaatar, so I had a hard time answering about the statue in front of the Central Library. I think it's like a news about the world happenings and world news and history of every country, especially the Mongolia. And it's a good network because it's in English. And if there's a guest who speaks Mongolian, there's always a subtitle, so it's easy to watch, and you can get good information from this TV network.
Thank you all participants. We hope that this program gave you some more interesting understanding about life in Mongolia. See you again in another episode, and goodbye to our audience.